Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for those of you who are new here, my name's Amy. I'm a full-time reseller primarily on the Poshmark app, and today I'll be doing another Ship With Me video. In these videos, I go day to day and I share the different items that I'm shipping out. I talk about how much they sold for, what I paid for them, and what my profit was. So you'll want to be sure to watch all the way to the end because I always have interesting and unique items, and I'm sure you can learn something from the different types of items that I pick up and sell. Okay, so let's get started. The first sale was a bundle of 2 pieces, and the first item is this vintage brooch with coral and jade or jadeite stones. This is a costume jewelry piece with gold tone, a gold tone setting, not real gold. And then the next item is this really sweet little necklace with a carnelian heart pendant, and this one is gold filled. So I had these listed, this one, the necklace for $69 and the brooch for $39, I think it was, because the original total was $108. The buyer offered me $78. This buyer, Stephanie, I believe it is. Yes, Stephanie. Thank you for being a repeat customer. I think she's a subscriber and she has bought quite a few items from me. So I decided to go ahead and accept her offer. It was a little bit more than 20% off of the original price. But because she has been such a great customer and repeat buyer, I happily accepted that. I had just listed both of these, I think within the last week, maybe 2 weeks, but either way, they sold quick. I had got both of them at the same estate sale, and I paid a total of $5 for both of them. So after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, that made my net profit $57.40. I'm very happy with that. Those are both really nice pieces with the stones, unique, good quality pieces. So I am pleased to see them move in and move out quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the small flat rate box. I'll add some more stuffing. Just because I think those are a little bit more delicate pieces. Usually I put my jewelry in the padded flat rate envelope. But just because I think those could break or chip, I am going to box them up. Okay, so the next item is this twisted chain necklace. And on camera, it's coming across looking more like it's gold, but it's actually sterling silver, and it has accents of gold on it. So that's kind of why it looks more like it's gold on camera. But I had this listed for quite some time. I think it just wasn't translating properly in the photos. It's a really pretty sparkly piece. I can't remember what I started out listing it as but it was significantly more than what I sold it for. I sold it for $25, but that's just fine. Sometimes you have to let go of what you think an item should sell for and accept an offer for what someone is willing to pay for it. So it sold for $25. I had paid $3 for this. So after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $17. I had originally hoped to get more for that, but I am ready to move it out since it has been listed for so long. Probably close to a year it's been listed. I'm not exactly sure. But I made a profit and it's going to a new home and hopefully they love it. So the next item is this Scully brand Western pearl snap blouse, and this has embroidery. Here is the Scully tag. Scully does a lot of leather and Western wear. So I also mentioned the pearl snap. It's this pearlized snap button, and that's a key word you want to use for these shirts that have the pearl snap on them. I can't remember what I originally listed this at, but I had sent out 20% off offers to likers with discounted shipping. So this buyer got a $36 offer and they accepted. I had paid just $1 for this, so that was a nice little profit. I think this had been listed for a little while, a good 6-8 months. So it was not a quick flip, but because I paid so little for it, I still had a nice profit of $26.08. I like picking up a Scully brand. They have a pretty high retail. Their items are very good quality, and typically they have a decent resale value. They're not always the quickest sellers though, so I will mention that. So I only like to get Scully if my buy-in cost of goods price is pretty low, because I don't like to have, a high cost of goods item taking a long time to sell unless it's going to be a really big profit. Okay, and it wouldn't be one of my ship with me videos without a belt sale. This is a semi-vintage, maybe from the 90s or the 2000s. It's a Western style belt, but it's by Liz Claiborne. Let's see, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but it's a genuine leather belt. I really liked the styling on this, and it felt like it was nice quality. And you know me, I love buying and selling belts. I had this listed for $39. I had also sent out 20% off offers to likers on this item, and the buyer counter offered me with $24. And as I've said tons and tons of times before, I look at belts like a bread and butter item. So sometimes I'm willing to accept a little bit lower offers. Just kind of depends on the belt and how long I've had it. So I was happy to take that $24. I had paid $3 for this, and so that made my net profit $16.20. Overall, I am happy with that. It has been a little bit slow. It is the, what is it? It's 2 days after Christmas. So it's the Tuesday after Christmas. And typically after Christmas and into January, I'm a little bit busier. So fingers crossed that it gets busy again. I'm just noticing that it looks like my camera might be a little bit crooked, so I apologize for that. I'll straighten it out when I come back in a couple of days, and I will see you then. Hi again, it's a couple days later, and my sales have really picked up, so I'm really excited about that. I have quite a few items to ship out and a few with really great profits, so that is wonderful. Let's get started. The first item is another pair of these vintage Christian Dior demo eyeglasses. Now, for those of you who haven't watched my channel before, I picked up 30 pairs of these at the estate sale of an optometrist, and they had them priced at $5 a piece. Initially, I thought that I had made a mistake, mainly because I bought 30 pairs and I spent $150, and I really didn't know anything about eyeglass frames, but it has turned out to be a wonderful investment. I think this is my 7th or 8th pair that I've sold, and most of the glasses have sold between $50 and $150 per pair. So it has really been wonderful. Did I already say I had paid $5 a piece for these? So these ones sold for $95. I had them listed for $129, and the buyer sent me that offer for $95. I thought that was pretty fair. These had some pretty great details on them, but I have had all of these listed for 3 or 4 months now. So for certain or most pairs, I'm ready to, you know, accept some a little bit lower offers, not really low, but I was happy with that $95. The buyer sent me a few messages and she was really concerned about these arriving safely. So I am going to take extra precaution and wrap these in 3 layers of bubble wrap so that they do arrive safely and she feels like I listened to her concern. So for a purchase like this, I'm more than happy to do that just so the buyer feels like I made an effort to make sure these arrive safely. The other ones that I have sold, I just did 2 layers of bubble wrap and I put them in one of these boxes, but I think I might actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put these in a larger box with some packing peanuts so that they are extra safe. Okay, so like I said, they sold for $95. I paid $5 for them. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $71. I am thrilled. I mean, I think at this point I have quadrupled or 5 times my money with that investment, and I still have about 20 pairs left. So it really worked out great. Sometimes it pays off to take risks like that. Okay, so the next item is this really dainty 14 karat gold bracelet, and it has these cute little ladybugs on it. I bought this as part of an estate buyout where someone came to me and had a larger lot of jewelry and they just wanted to sell it all together. So I made an offer on the whole lot. Oftentimes when I do these estate buyouts, I will pay up a little bit for items because that keeps buyers happy and it makes them refer people to me. So, you know, they can say, if someone that they know or meet says, boy, I have some jewelry to sell, or I want to get rid of my mom's or my aunt's jewelry, do you know anybody who would buy it all? If they are happy with what I paid them, then they are going to tell people, boy, that Amy, she really gives good prices for jewelry. You should go see her. And so that's why I pay up a little bit for those types of buyouts. Okay, so I don't remember what I had this listed for. I think I had it listed for $280, maybe $329. Actually, I think I had it listed for $329. And I had sent out 10% off offers and 20% off offers. And this buyer offered me $210, which was still a reasonable inline price for this type of bracelet. So I accepted that. I had paid $50 for this. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $118. I am thrilled with that. You know, even though I did have to pay up a little bit for this to begin with, I think that that profit paid off. And I did buy this jewelry lot during the summer. So it's been maybe 5 or 6 months since this has been listed, but oftentimes I am prepared to wait for jewelry items to sell. I realize that sometimes they take longer to sell, so I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so the next item, another belt. I've got a couple of belts today, and this is a tooled leather belt, and it says Karen on the back. This had some really great floral, cactus floral details on it. Now I have this belt listed with the belt buckle that it came with. And I had it listed for a pretty high price, $129, because the belt buckle that was on there was a certain name brand, and it was silver and gold plated. So anyways, this buyer came and asked if I would just sell the belt separately. And because this had Karen written on it, and I felt like more of the value was in the buckle, I told the buyer that I would do that and that I would sell it to her for $39. Or her or him, I'm not sure. And they were pretty excited about that price, and they said, I'll take it. I had only paid $3 for the belt and the buckle. So now I am free and clear on that buckle, and hopefully I can still get a higher price for that buckle. It was customized with the date, and it said Elgin Rodeo. But anyways, that made me happy because I thought the fact that this had a name on it would make it a little bit harder to sell. So it sold for $39. I had paid $3. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $26.20. That's great as far as I'm concerned. And this buyer gets, you know, this more customized belt, and she seemed really happy with that price that I offered her. There were no name brands or marks or anything on that belt. So I just listed it under the vintage brand on Poshmark. So another belt, this is a men's woven leather belt, and it has reptile print accents on it. Now this did have some wear. You can see that it looks like it had been worn quite a bit, but it really is a beautiful quality belt. I had this listed for $39. The buyer came in and offered me $20, and I counter offered $25. Even though this is a pretty great quality belt, because it was a little more worn, that's why I counter offered with just $25. And I was in the mood to sell stuff because the last couple of weeks have been a little bit slow. And it is the end of the year. It is December 29th now. So I'd like to end the year with a bang, and my sales are already up over last year, and I'd like them to be up even more. It's always fun to see your progress year over year on Poshmark and other platforms. So like I said, this sold for $25. I had paid $2 for it, so that made my profit $18. For those of you who don't always watch my videos, I am a little bit more lenient with selling belts and accepting more reasonable offers usually because I look at them as a bread and butter item, and I like to turn and burn and bring in new and move them out quickly. So okay, so this next item was another item that I kind of took a chance on, and it is this beautiful slouchy leather purse. I don't know if you can, well, I think you can tell just how soft this leather is. It is beautiful quality, and it is by the brand Abro, A-B-R-O, Abro. And I saw this at the Goodwill, and when I touched it, I was just like, wow, this is a beautiful, high quality bag. They had it priced at $10. And I can't remember if I couldn't find comps or if the comps weren't that good, but I just could not pass this up because it is an oversized slouchy bag, and those are really coming back on trend, and because the quality was so amazing, I just couldn't pass it up. So I bought it anyways, and I listed it for $89, and it sold for full price. It did take, I don't know, I'd say about 3 months to sell, which really isn't terribly long. And like I said, it was priced at $9.99, but I had a 10% off coupon, so I paid $9 for it. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $62.20. I think that's wonderful on a pre-owned handbag. And these did have a pretty high retail value, if I remember correctly. It was just the resale value that wasn't that great. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of fold that up nicely and put it in the box. Okay, the next item is something a little bit different for me. It is a vintage, well, vintage isn't different for me, but this is a children's dress. And for those of you who are in my age group or older, I remember wearing and having a dress similar to this when I was young. The main reason I picked it up is because it is by Gunny Sacks for Jessica McClintock. And Gunny Sacks seems to be a very trending brand right now. I did look up comps for this, and they weren't quite as good as I had hoped for. But I may have also missed the mark on this because it sold very quickly in less than a week, maybe only 3 or 4 days. I listed it for $49. And a buyer liked it, so I have automatically, my Posher VA sends out 10% off offers with discounted shipping. So the buyer got a $44 offer, which they accepted. I had paid $6 for this at a thrift store, which was paying up a little bit, but it was one of those days where I was finding other good stuff and I kind of got excited, but it turned out okay. So like I said, this sold for $44 with discounted shipping, and I had paid $6. So that made my profit $26.52. I'm not going to complain about that for a quick sale, you know. And let me know in the comments below if you are knowledgeable about these children's dresses and if I undersold it. But I looked for dresses with similar styles that were Gunny Sacks, and that was kind of the price range that I saw. So I'm happy with the $26 profit. Hopefully I didn't leave $100 on the table or something. But that happens, and you just live and learn, and you know for next time. Okay, so the next item is this REI kind of outdoor activewear rain jacket. And I picked this up at the bins. I don't always pick up REI, but this was a women's extra large. It was in very nice condition, and it was at the bins. So I paid less than $2 for it. And I don't remember what I listed this at, either $35 or $39, but it sold for $29. I had paid about $2 for it, like I said. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $21.20. So when I'm able to get items for affordable prices like this, I am happy with a $20 or so profit, just because I don't have money, very much money, you know, sitting out that I can't spend on other things. This probably took, I don't know, 2 or 3 months to sell. I can't remember. I got it earlier in the year, but I think I just got it listed at the beginning in fall or winter. So not, you know, not super quick, but also it wasn't sitting around for a year or anything. Sorry, this is kind of getting caught up on the box. Did I say my profit was $21.20? I think I did. Okay, and the next sale is not super great, but I am happy to move this out and get it out of my inventory. It is a pullover fleece, or kind of better sweater style, by Eddie Bauer. Now, I rarely pick up Eddie Bauer unless it is vintage or it's a down piece or just a, you know, a nicer quality piece that had a higher retail. But this was at a fill the bag sale that one of our local churches does. And you get a giant black garbage bag, like the kind you'd put leaves in. It's huge. And it's $5 to fill it. So sometimes I'll just grab stuff because it is so cheap. And this was in nice condition. So I thought, hey, I'll try it out because it's only going to cost me 25-50 cents. But it did take quite some time to sell, maybe 6 or 8 months. I think I listed this at the beginning of the summer and it only sold for $12. But hey, I still made a profit. I paid less than $1. So that made my profit $8.05. And like I've said over and over again, every little bit counts. And, you know, some things you make over 100 on and some things you make under 10 on. So, well, I am pretty excited about how good my sales were for the last couple of days. And I hope that that continues. As I've said in previous videos, this time of year after Christmas and January are some of my busiest. Usually January is my highest selling month. So fingers crossed that it is again this year. And I will be back in a couple of days to show what else I sell. See you then. Hi there, it's another day and I've got some decent sales to share with you. The first one is really great. And then I have quite a few pieces that I've had for a long time that I finally sold, and they sold for a little bit lower amounts than I was hoping for, but I am very happy to get rid of them. So the first item is this Arc'teryx Gore-Tex rain hiking coat. And I picked this up at a yard sale quite a few years ago. And when my husband saw it and it was my size, he was like, you need to keep that. That's like a, you know, $600 coat and blah, blah, blah. And so I kept it and I only ended up wearing it once in like the 2 or 3 years that I had it. So I just decided that after doing some research on comps that I would rather have the money than the coat. I don't need this fancy of a coat for how often I go out and go fishing in the weather. So I listed this for $349, I think. And it was only listed a few days, maybe 4 days, and I got an offer for $280. It did have some small flaws, little marks, and then the drawstring on the inside is like taped in. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but that was coming loose. I'm sure that it can be sent into Arc'teryx and get repaired. I just didn't want to do it. So it sold for $280. I can't remember, I either paid $5 or $10 for this at a yard sale when I bought it. So I'm just going to put my cost of goods at $10. So that made my profit $214. Can you believe that? I'm super excited. I don't know if I could have maybe held out and got a little bit more for this, but based on how much I paid for it and that I wore it a couple of times, I was really excited to sell it for $280. So Arc'teryx, as I've said before, can have some really great resale values. And so you want to keep your eyes out for that brand when you're out thrifting. Some things have much higher, so like the coats have much higher resale values and retail values than pants and some of the fleeces. So you want to do your research before you pay up for Arc'teryx. The next item is this vintage Dooney & Bourke bag. I have had this so long, I can't even tell you when I listed it. I mean, maybe a couple of years I've had it listed. but it had quite a few flaws. The zipper works, but it like, some of the teeth don't stay closed together, and then it's a little misshapen. I don't know why I bought this in the first place. I think I just didn't look it over very good when I bought it. And so needless to say, it just had to wait for the right price and the right buyer because it was flawed. So let's see, I've got that out of order. Just a second here. It ended up selling for $23, which is fine. You know, I am happy to get rid of it. I don't remember how much I paid for this because it has been so long ago. But, you know, I suspect that I paid $10 or so for it. So I put that $10 as my cost of goods. So that made my profit only $8.40. That's really not great, but this is off my shelf and out of my inventory, and I have $8 to invest in something else or pay my bills with. So I am gonna try not to complain about that. And I hope this buyer can still use this and love it even though it is flawed. I can't remember what I originally started listing that at, but I think maybe like $49 or something like that. Actually, the couple more of the items are flawed too, so I'm glad to see those go. This one is not, but I also have this listed for over a year. This is a vintage 1960s tassel necklace, and it's kind of adjustable. These can pull through to different lengths. But I just thought that was really cute, and either, again, I had it listed too high, or I just liked it more than other people did. I can't remember what I started out listing this at. I think maybe around 60 something, but it ended up selling for $42. I had paid $3 for it. So that made my profit $27.92. Really not a bad profit for that $3 investment, although it did take a really long time to sell. But overall, I am happy with my profit, and I'm super happy to get some of this stuff out of my inventory that's been hanging around. I think I'm gonna do, I've never done closet clear out before. Can you believe that? I've been selling on Poshmark for 4 or 5 years now, and I've never participated in that. So I think I'm gonna do that when it's comes up next. I think it happens on Fridays or Saturdays maybe, but anyways, I'm gonna do that to try and get rid of some more inventory and get Poshmark to pay the discounted shipping for me. So I will report back and let you know how that goes. Okay, so this is another item. I'm not sure why I bought this. Sometimes I get excited and I buy things because they could have good values, but they don't because they're flawed. I don't know. But this is a Ralph Lauren hand knit wool sweater. And some of these, well, in better condition, these can have really great resale values. So I have sold some others in the $200 to $300 for these hand knit sweaters. But this one was shrunken and it had quite a few flaws and just overall worn look. But I think I was just thinking, you know, Ralph Lauren hand knit sweater, big money, even though it was all flawed. So anyways, it sold for, boy, I've got my stuff all out of order. It sold for $31. I had paid $6 for this at the Goodwill, so it wasn't even that cheap. You know, sometimes we just make bad choices, and We just have to take what we can get and move on. So it sold for $31. I paid $6. So after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, that made my profit $16.12. Not the greatest, but it's still a profit, and this is moving out. I really hope the buyer read the description. I did have shrunken written in the title and the description. So fingers crossed. Okay, and another flawed item, or somewhat. This is a vintage Nike bomber jacket. I'm not sure exactly what year it's from, but when I got it, I didn't notice. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Oh yeah, I think you can. So the sleeves are really worn, and I tried to stain treat that and clean it, and I just couldn't get it to come out. Did I show you the overall? Yeah, so it's kind of a wool fabric with nylon sleeves. I think I had this listed for 8 months or something like that. And it ended up selling for $35, which isn't too bad. And I had paid $4 for it at a thrift store. So that made my profit $24 even. Actually, that's not too bad for a $4 investment. It just took too long to sell. So what I'm learning from this is that, well, and I've kind of already been doing better at this, is that I really try and examine items when I'm in the thrift store and not just get excited and impulse buy things, and look for those flaws before I, pay for them and list them, because sometimes they just take too long to sell, or most of the time they do. So overall, I'm happy with this week. My total sales was $1,117 for this week. My total cost of goods was $123. So that's a really great return on investment. And overall, my profit after Poshmark fees and cost of goods was $706.29. I'm pretty happy with that. I think my goal for, it's New Year's Eve right now. So I think my goal for 2023 is to try and get $1,000 in profit per week. I think that would really make me a little bit more comfortable financially, to consistently have an average of $1,000 per week. So let me know what your goals are for 2023 in the comments down below. I may do a video on setting goals. Let me know if you think that would be helpful or not. So if you are enjoying my videos, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. At this time, I'm almost to 1,500 subscribers, which is more than I thought I would be at this point in my YouTube journey. So I'm super excited about that. If you liked this video, if you could give it a thumbs up and comment down below, both those things really help me out. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.